welcome. Today is Monday, the 1st of July. And although I've been kind of quite sick since Thursday, it felt important to get this out on because it's the 1st. And because it feels like we have a deadline again of the 31st. So right now, I'm a testament to the power of our words and our commands. And the message of that has been coming at me for weeks. But Thursday, okay, how do I... Those of you who did go through that sacral energy that started in November, you may relate, I'm not sure. And if you do, then this might be a clue. It stopped. It stopped, I don't know when, maybe February, March. Hints of it every now and then. So on Thursday, and I've had that cough, right, as well. So Thursday, sitting outside, making some commands that energy start to flow freely again. And next thing I knew, I felt like I was being choked out and I had a coughing fit, like that was very unusual. And it didn't stop. And then that night, went in hard. Hamish gave me a little bit of help. Went in hard and looked at what was going on and tried to address it. And wasn't there for long, only a few minutes. Shortly after that, I went to bed, passed out, woke up a few hours later, and my whole chest was on fire. I was in a fever. I was in delirium. I was in and out. And I was being bombarded with stories of what was going on with me and why. And I was with it enough to know that, no, that's bullshit. That's a distraction. That's a distortion. That's this, that's that. And after, I don't know how long of this, like in and out of consciousness, I made another command and I said, I command to see and know the truth of what's going on. And at that point, I actually saw the flames, the fire going all the way up my chest. And I saw what it was doing, which was that sacral energy, that blue sacral energy that had been pumping so hard for 3 or 4 months, had frozen all through my chest, all through my throat and in my head. And that's what this cough's been about all this time. It's been me trying to release it. And it was going to take fire to melt it. And it looked like blue ice. And I went, that's the truth. Now, the reasons for it freezing, kind of many and varied, but through this whole process, I've just been like commanding like a mofo to get to the bottom of so many things. And all of the pieces, so many pieces that we've brought up from as early as last week, talking about what they loosh, to talk of the shadow that we did probably last year as well. Talk of that thing I got about the zombie apocalypse. Talk of, I don't know, it all just sort of came together for me. Now, I guess all I can say is, don't take my word for it, right? But this is how it's all falling together for me. For those of you who were lucky enough to have watched The Lies NASA Told back in 2014, and it blew my mind open to a kind of put me on the path to the nature of this reality. Rose has always called it the system that runs this thing, the corporation. And those of you who understand the whole straw man sovereign movement, tell me firstly if there's anyone who doesn't. Doesn't understand what that's about. Amber doesn't. Okay. Karen doesn't. Justin doesn't. Okay. All right. This is you could say this is the physical 3D on paper version of the inversion we are in. So whoever or whatever is the beings that are running this inversion, they operate through hierarchy and structure. Their inversion of lawful is legal, right? Corporations and hierarchy structures, that's how they do things. Now, a corporation is what they call a dead entity. It doesn't represent a person, it doesn't represent a human. Okay. So you are born as a living being, and they are the corporations, the governments. And by the way, all of your governments are corporations. They are not governments. And everything you think of as a government department is also a corporation. They've all got their own ABNs and IENs and all of that stuff. But a dead entity, a corporation, cannot speak to the living. They have no authority over the living. So when you're born, they use your birth certificate to create a corporate version of you. So every time a corporation is addressing what you think is you, they're actually addressing the corporate version of you, and you can tell because your name is always in all caps. That's the corporation. That's how you denote a corporation, is in all capital letters. That's the briefest description. And I can go into more later if you have questions. But that corporate version of us that they interact with, that they have authority over, because they created it, is what people call the straw man. Okay, so if you ever come across that term. But I realized something. Okay. They have legal, not lawful, legal authority over that straw man, because it's their property, they created it. They trick us into acting for it by letting us think it's us. Oh man, this would be so much easier if my head was working properly. But again, this is the physical play out to me. This is what hit me this week. It doesn't start or end there. And I'm really not sure how to try and explain this. So here's us, the living being. Here's the corporate version straw man that they created in the physical. Physical being, physical vehicle, physical. And then we've got, at the energetic level, you could say, we've got our soul.
What you doing, Babs?
Sorry? Oh, Crystal, did you not know you were unmuted?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. But it's a reflection of the energetic. So if they can't touch the soul, they've literally created an energetic straw man. And that energetic straw man is what we call our shadow.